Josh Hennig back here, hour 2 of Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from the Pic-A-Lilli Inn over 206 in Shamong. As promised, we are being joined by one of the rising stars, not just in South Jersey boxing, but women's boxing as well. Lia Lewandowski joining us live on location here at the Pic-A-Lilli, and she will be a part of the Boxing Insider Promotions Saturday, March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. It's the 7th event put on by Larry Goldberg at Boxing Insider Promotions, and she's a part of another stacked fight card with local and international fighters. And this is your second time with Boxing Insider Promotions. So first of all, welcome to Pic-A-Lilli. Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I might have turned up your microphone, so there we go.
Can you hear me better?
No, that was my fault. So as you see, I'm doing everything myself here. So
it's complicated, yeah. I'm glad it's at the Pic-A-Lilli. I used to come here all the time. Like on Mondays, my friend used to do trivia here. It was
nice.
Buy 6 or buy 1 get 1 free wings, but great food. So. Oh,
it's definitely a great food, and that's why part of the reason why we're here is because people want to cater their football party tomorrow for that big game you might have heard of. Right? Why not come to the Pic-A-Lilli Inn over 206 in Shamong? They have online ordering now, which makes it a lot easier. So, and that got you interested, yeah?
Yeah, I've been craving wings lately, so.
Now let's get into that really quick because you are obviously preparing for a fight next month.
Yeah.
For those who don't understand, what is the difference for you in fight camp versus out of fight camp when it comes to the eating?
So in fight camp, it's not just the training that's more complicated and more lengthy. It's basically 24/7. Your entire lifestyle is catered to fight camp.
Right.
So if anything, I'm pretty bad with nutrition. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
So outside of fight camp, I'll pretty much eat whatever I want. But during fight camp, I have a problem with not eating as much carbs, not eating as much protein. And I don't know, the more you work out, the less hungry you are. So it's like I'm forcing myself to eat more to give myself more energy
right.
to last during the entire fight camp. So in a weird way, it's more effort. I'd rather be eating more than eating less.
Right.
If I had to complain about, anything, but it's definitely an adjustment, and just being mindful of when to have carbs and the sugars and be able to squeeze it in.
Right, timing it out around your training and
Absolutely.
Stuff like that, Now, for your training, because I know a lot of people have different strategies, are you someone who says, I'm going to fuel then train, or do you train then fuel?
I try and believe the first one. Actually, can I answer with both?
Oh, sure. Sure.
So definitely.
It's your training. I'm not telling you how to live your life.
Definitely with both. Whether I'm still figuring it out as I go, but
okay.
If I do have a big training session or sparring, I will make sure that I have enough to eat, because
right.
as I've experienced, if I, just a regular meal that's a little too less, I'll find my, training sessions can last hours and hours and hours.
Right.
And I'll find myself super depleted, right into it. And then if you just don't have the energy to train, then, what are you learning? So then, especially even after training, as part of recovery, I guess I'm definitely putting it down too.
Lia Lewandowski joining us. Of course, her next fight is going to be at Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City, Saturday, March 7th. And by the way, people can get tickets from you as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the social media is just your name, right?
Yeah.
So Lia Lewandowski, or you can just follow 973 ESPN or at Josh Hennig, and you can see all of our socials everywhere. We've all been tagging each other and sharing each other this week. So now, what is now the biggest difference from last fight to this fight for you? Is there any variables, any changes, anything you said, hey, I learned this from training last time that we're going to do better this time? What is the process this time?
Well, the biggest difference was my last fight. I actually fought at 122 pounds, which is heavier for me. I just really wanted to fight on the card, and it was all we could find in that moment. I'm pretty much walking close to that weight. So I felt the weight difference. I usually fight at 110 to 115 max, preferably.
Okay.
So this next fight is at 110 pounds. So
gotcha.
12 pounds less. So it's as fighting someone that was, 122 pounds, and I would think that she probably bulked up. I don't think she was walking at that weight. There's just definitely a big weight difference. But at 110, she is going to be significantly shorter than me. But they're quicker when when they have less weight to pull. So it's definitely more cardio that's going to have to get it put into it.
Right.
The reaction time will be sharper, and we'll adjust.
Now, you just mentioned about, the height difference, right? I was telling Gina on our way up here, Gina, who's helping me buy with folks, to come over and sign up for Flyers tickets. They go to Flyer tickets and other prizes we're going to give away here at the Pic-A-Lilli Inn over 206 in Shamong. I was talking to Gina about the fact that you, Leah, I'm trying to keep all these things straight here. The fact that, I feel like the thing that came easiest for you was the jab because of the length that you have. Is that something where, like, when you have an opponent who is that much of a height difference, like, is that kind of the idea of using the jab more, do you think, or are your coaches trying to get you to focus on other things as well?
A little bit of both, but if you had to choose, the main power as someone who has that reach is the jab. It keeps them out. As a shorter fighter, they have no choice but to come in.
Right.
So if you are able to keep that distance with that jab, then you, as my coach says, he says you could win a fight just off of your jab alone. So being able to have that is great, but it's also great to be able to mix in like other things in there. So he does keep me sharp with everything, but priority is that jab.
How much is also the priority of making sure that you have a certain quality level of competition that you're fighting against? Because I think a lot of people, I don't want to give away anything, but I had a little birdie told me that you arguably have one of the toughest opponents on the entire fight card on Saturday, March 7th, the Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. So how important is it for you to make sure that you're not taking easy fights, shall we call it?
My coach actually put it this way a little bit ago. Because I don't have such a lengthy background in boxing, I didn't start as a child. I started maybe 5 years ago.
Right.
So as I am just so used to it at this point, it was like I had to make up for all that lost time compared to a lot of these other female competitors by just putting in twice the amount of effort, the hard work. So my coach was talking to me the other day that same with these fights, it's like I'm learning as I'm fighting, which sounds counterproductive when you're fighting tougher opponents, but sometimes, as most coaches will say, like when you are sparring an opponent that is tougher than you, that those are the sparring partners that you will learn the most from and be able to adjust the quickest to. So we're hoping that after this fight, possibly after the next one, that we will aim for a title shot.
Now, when you say a title shot, like, is that one of those, like, are you, like, how high are you aiming with that? Or are you just saying, hey, I'm just going to take whatever comes down the road?
End of the line is to be undisputed champion of the world. World champion through and through. To start, it starts with, like, smaller regional belts. Right. You have to work your way up to be able to be eligible to fight for those international belts. But absolutely, end of the day is to be number one in the world.
Lia Lewandowski joining us from Berlin, New Jersey, here on 97.3 ESPN Live at the Pic-A-Lilli Inn over 206 in Shamong. Couple more before I let you go, because I know you got a very, very busy day. By the way, shout out to Harry Purdy at Purdy Photography. I know you've been doing some work with him. He does a great job. Looking at this fight, obviously this is, the first quarter of 2026. I know in the past you have talked about wanting to be more busy. Is your goal potentially this year to maybe try to get 2 to 3 fights in this year as opposed to maybe the 1 or 2 in previous years?
I will take as many as I can. If there happens to be another opportunity the next month over and we're able to get an opponent, I will absolutely be ready for it. In the meantime, I am going to be doing Team Boxing League this season again. I am to be on Atlanta's team.
Okay.
So in between that, in terms of finding my next fight.
How does that work, by the way? You're on Atlanta's team?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Is this a draft? Like,
it's complicated, but
it sounds complicated.
Yeah, it's pretty much a bunch of cities in the U.S.
Right.
gather a team of professional boxers.
But usually you would think it would be like, let's put all, like, the Philly fighters on one team and all the Georgia fighters on a team.
I guess, like, same with the NFL. Like, no, not everyone on the Philadelphia Eagles team is from Philadelphia.
True.
They'll get drafted, so it's kind of like that, but yeah.
But boxing's still more of an individual sport than a team sport. Teams, you got to gather from anywhere you can find them. Boxing is like part of like you have a pride in where you're from, especially as a fighter. When you walk into the ring, they're not announcing 20 people who's fighting. It's you. They're saying this is Lia Lewandowski from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and here's Lia Lewandowski from New Jersey, fighting out of Atlanta.
Yeah, It's a little different, but I think especially for the females on the teams, because there's just not that many females in general, let alone the smaller weight classes. The majority of the guys usually are from that area, so that they can meet up for team practices and all that. Meanwhile, they're gonna have to fly me in every single time, but they're low on their female fighters.
Well, as long as they're flying you in, they're not making you pay your way.
Oh yeah, they're flying me. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that would just be ridiculous. It's like, oh, by the way, you got to pay your way to get here. It's like, no, thank you.
Yeah. So it's great experience overall. Whether it's team sport, not a team sport, either way, I get to face very great competitors. For a single round with a record that is its own separate thing from my professional record. So it's a great experience. So I'm looking forward to that.
You just mentioned about the fact that they're finding other women's fighters and stuff. And that's kind of what I want to wrap up with you, because obviously women's boxing is a very different animal than a lot of other sports. So for you, what has your experience now in the last 5 years being in this world, has your perspective of the women's boxing world changed and all? Have you experienced anything that kind of maybe was a light bulb going off and be like, wow, this world is maybe more complicated, different than you thought?
I thought it was more complicated when I first started.
Okay.
After, I guess, in a weird way, you gain respect by beating the crap out of other people's fighters. So when I first started, people don't really take you that seriously, but once you start getting experience and the knowledge in the game, that's when everyone treats you like they're equal.
Right.
I've gone to some gyms with international champions of fighters, and just like everyone else, they've never seen me or met me before, and they're just dabbing me up like every other person, because it's just when you know that you're serious with it and everyone else knows, it's just that mutual respect you all have for each other. So if anything, now I feel like more than an equal than ever.
Nice. I like that. That's very cool. Well, it is National Women in Sports Week, month, whatever you want to ascribe it to. So, it seems very appropriate that you were joining us today here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Again, a month from today, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. Saturday, March 7th, Lia Lewandowski will be competing. She will be having her next fight, South Jersey's own. Again, hit you up on what? At Lia Lewandowski on Instagram for tickets?
At Lia_Lewandowski.
Okay, _ Lewandowski. Because remember, folks, local fighters, you got to support the local fighters. It helps them go where they're going. It's like a local business. You don't go to the mainstream restaurant and bar. You come to the Pic-A-Lilli, right?
Absolutely.
You support the local community. So obviously, buy your tickets from Lia for the fight Saturday, March 7th. Lia, appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Josh Hennig hanging out with you at the Pic-A-Lilli Inn on Road 206 in Shamong. Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. And don't forget, again, Saturday, March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. Lia Lewandowski, one of the South Jersey fighters in action, including undefeated Justin Figueroa from Atlantic City. Holy Spirit High School graduate Josh Popper will be back in action, as well as New Jersey's own John Leonardo. Just some of the fighters who will be in action Saturday, March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. And if you want tickets to see Lia in action, hit her up on social media. She will get you taken care of, because, again, you want to support the local fighters in your community.